Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about three talking points that have come out in regards to what's going on down south. We're going to address each one and see how they kind of all flow together and show the American perception of what's going on and versus the reality. Okay, so the first part is that Americans have apparently just found out that the groups down there use armbands, wristbands, like you find at amusement parks, to identify people who have paid and obtained permission to travel through the territory they control. And the moral outrage from Americans has just been deafening. That this was shocking to a lot of people. And I agree, it's horrible. I think that a group of men with guns demanding to see documentation that somebody has paid and obtained permission to cross through a territory for harmless travel is pretty immoral. Think about it as long as you need to. It's kind of the same. And I know you can say, no, there's differences. There are differences in the systems. And I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, on a technical level, but when you get to a moral level, there is no difference between that armband, that wristband, and what the U.S. does. Not really. I will grant you the technical differences. One is a well-defined territory ran by mostly unaccountable men who use institutionalized violence to collect money from the people in that area that are under their control with the primary motivation of enriching themselves, and the other is the criminal enterprise down south. Yeah, those guys, they really need to get a flag and a song because it would change the whole dynamic, the whole perception. Morally, it's the same thing. Now, the follow-up talking point to this, as soon as Republicans realized that this was bothering people, they're like, did you know they make $500 million a year off of this practice? And that's a low estimate. It is the low end of accurate, but almost so low it is inaccurate. But see, that doesn't tell me what I think they want it to tell me. $500 million a year. More than $1 million a day just to travel. I thought these people were poor and going to bankrupt our economy. Doesn't seem like that's true. Seems like that's made up. Seems like it's just a talking point, a propaganda piece made to marginalize people. That's what it seems like. And then we have the Democratic Party saying sternly, don't come. Yeah, okay, sure, that's going to be effective. That's about like telling somebody who is in a house that is currently on fire, don't leave, the fire department's on the way. I don't think that's going to matter much. It's a political thing. It's them trying to show that they don't want a giant surge of people. And they genuinely don't want a giant surge of people. But that isn't going to do anything. Talk's cheap. Simultaneously, the U.S. has to begin fixing the problems it created in Central America and processing the people who have already arrived faster. And they're working on the processing side. They are working on the processing side. They're inking deals with hotels. If you watch the video, you can imagine my laughter at that. They brought in people to speed up processing. They are talking about flying some of them to the northern U.S. border so they can use those facilities and process them faster. I will tell you right now, that type of suggestion that is that costly and that visible, that occurs when there's a whole bunch of people in a room and the commander walks in and says, give me anything you've got to fix this. That's not a politically a politically motivated solution. That's one that is aimed at just solving the problem as quickly as possible. The fact that those ideas are being thrown out, they are working on it. They're doing what they can. There's a giant backlog, and it's going to take time. I would also point out that there's a mix of terminology. All asylum seekers are migrants. Not all migrants are asylum seekers, and there are two very different sets of rules in place. And then you have unaccompanied minors as well. And unaccompanied minors, the reason they're being treated the way they are is because a senator introduced a bill back in 2008 to protect them, to mandate a certain kind of treatment. It was Senator Biden, by the way. It's just a funny twist of fate that it is actually his bill that is creating his biggest political headache right now. The current standards, they have slightly improved since the last time we talked about it. Not much, not enough. They are not up to standards yet, but it's going the right way. Can it stay at this level and be okay? No, it has to get better. They're instituting things to attempt to make that happen. We have to see how it goes. The U.S. government is a very unwieldy machine. So I don't know. This is something I will continue watching and see how it develops. But where we are at right now, the number of unaccompanied minors is going to continue to increase because there were a whole bunch of people who were right on the other side of the border because of Trump's programs who realize they can get their kids somewhere safe if they send them alone. That's what's happening. They are in that burning house, and they're getting their kids out first. That's what's occurring. And saying, no, don't come, that is not going to do any good. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.